This video will show you how to replace your front outside mirror on this Toyota Corolla. This will be mounted to your front door. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing I want to show you is your brand new mirror comes with the outboard cap dislodged from the mirror itself. That's so you can have this paint matched to your preference. Once you do have it paint matched, go ahead and have a peek along the backside. This is where you can see several locking tabs. If you are looking at the mirror itself, you'll find the areas for those tabs to slide into. Let's line this up and press it into position. Double check all the way around to confirm it's properly seated. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To be able to do this, we're going to remove our inside door panel. We'll start at the upper corner. This panel can easily be dislodged. You can use a small trim tool if necessary, or just do it by hand. Keep in mind, if you have a speaker unit, it will have a wiring harness. Now, once you do have that dislodged, you're going to find that there's an electrical connector with a locking tab. If you find that you can't squeeze it by hand, use a small pocket screwdriver or prying device and press in on that locking tab. You can see it right along the edge there. Every time you disconnect an electrical connector, a quick peek for corrosion and set that aside. Now let's move from there towards our inside handle. If you were looking along the back side, there's a small trap door. We're using our pocket screwdriver. We should be able to dislodge that. You can also use an angled pick. Behind that plastic trap door, there's a Phillips head screw. Go ahead and remove it. Now let's start dislodging the plastic panel across our grab handle. Down at the bottom, there's an area for a small prying device to pull this out of place. We'll just pull that out and away. Along the backside, you can see that there's several locking tabs. A quick inspection of those and we'll set this aside. Now that we have that panel out of the way, we can see two circular ports where there's Phillips head screws. We're going to wait on removing those. Let's continue on with our window switch panel. To be able to remove the window switch panel, the first thing we need to do is remove our armrest from this area. As far as this armrest, you can use a small pocket screwdriver or a trim tool as a prying device. There we are. Now you can see all of those tabs making their way across here. Now we can start removing that window switch panel. Just go ahead and take hold of that. We should be able to lift it up. You can pry as well if necessary. Along the bottom of that switch panel, another electrical connector. You can see the locking tab. Squeeze it in and disconnect this. Now that we have that dislodged, we can see another electrical connector. For this one, we're using our small pocket screwdriver, press in on that locking tab, and we're going to carefully start lifting this up. You can see that the locking area will dislodge, making its way up. That unlocks it from the switch panel itself, and we should be able to pull this out of place. There we are. Now you can see how that does move. Go ahead and set that wiring aside. Now we're back along the grab handle. Two Phillips head screws. Let's get this next one up here. Now we can start pulling the door panel away from the door. Keep in mind that you're going to have cables leading to the inside door handle and lock. Of course, we'll get to those once we have the panel dislodged far enough. With that said, I'm using my plastic trim tool down along the bottom of the trim panel next. Now once you feel along the bottom, you should find that there's small grooves that your trim tool will slide into. We'll start pulling the bottom of the door panel away from the door. As far as along the top, it can only go so far, and we're going to have to lift this up and away. Sometimes you'll find that the inner locking tabs will dislodge. That's okay, we can reinsert those once everything's apart. Now as you can tell, I'm pulling away on the bottom. This is at an angle. We'll start lifting it up, pulling away, and make our way along the backside for those cables. Now we can see those cables. The process for one cable will be the exact same thing as the other. We just don't want to mix them up. The white cable up along the top, that's for the lock. Down along the bottom, green cable for the handle itself. To dislodge these, we're starting with this area close to where the cable end is. Go ahead and dislodge it from the inner handle, and then we'll roll it out of position as far as the cable's concerned at the very end. A thorough inspection of that cable as we continue on. Set the door panel aside. Now that we have the door panel out of position, let's focus along where the mirror is located. In this upper corner, we have our mirror wiring harness. Follow it down to its electrical connector. Has a locking tab, go ahead and squeeze that in and we'll pull that up and out of place. Now that we have that disconnected, let's have a look along this side. You're going to find that you have two plastic tabs holding your door seal to that mirror. We want to separate that. You can use a small screwdriver or use a trim tool like I have here. Just gently make your way in and pry them out of place. You can see those tabs. I generally just keep these right in the seal itself. The last things we have to remove before removing the mirror is 3 10mm bolts. You are going to have one flexible locking tab right in the center here. We can deal with that once we have the bolts out of the way. We'll hold on to the mirror as necessary. Flex that locking tab down and remove the mirror. There it is, friend. Now that we have the mirror dislodged from the door prior to installing the brand new one, let's go ahead and clean and inspect the mounting area. We want to make sure nothing's rotted, weak, or damaged in any way. Now it's time for installation of the brand new outside mirror. We're going to start with the electrical wiring harness. Go ahead and slide it through the circular port. Continuing on, we'll align this with its mounting ports on the door itself and continue on by pressing it in. Now we do have that one locking tab that will secure this, but I always like to hold the mirror just in case while I continue on with my hardware from the inboard side. As far as those mounting bolts, they are going to be screwing into plastic and they're going to make their own threads. We'll go ahead and start them in by hand. Get them as straight as possible, and then we can snug them up. Get this one straightened out. Let's just double check, make sure that mirror is properly secured in place. Now it's time for the electrical wiring harness. Line it up, press it in. Audible click, a light tug confirming it's secured. Now let's just make sure that we secure that seal as well. Line up your tabs with the mirror itself and press those in, holding that seal in position. Now we can prepare to install that door panel. Before doing so, we're looking along the outer edges of the door panel itself. You should find that you have several locking tabs. We can see that one of mine is missing. It fell out during the removal process. That could be on the floor, or it might still be stuck in the door. If it's stuck in the door, you can use a trim tool to gently pry it out. Once you do have it in hand, go ahead and slide it into the door panel. You can see exactly where it needs to fit in. Press it in, listen for an audible click. Now as we bring the door panel over towards the door, we want to have the upper portion up nice and high so we can slide over the door itself, and then we're going to continue on rolling this into position. But keep in mind, we do have the area for the cables on the inside door handle we're going to need to contend with. We've got this over by the door. We're going to start with our cables. The green one is the bottom one, as I mentioned. Just go ahead and take that. We'll slide the cable end into its handle portion here, and then we're going to lock it in along the base of the handle assembly. Swing it into position, press it in, listen for an audible click. A light tug confirming it's properly secured in place. Same thing for the lock cable. That just slides directly into the lock knob there. We'll swing this over and latch that in as well. Audible click from both of those. We've confirmed that they're secured. Let's get this in position. Now, as I mentioned, we're coming up nice and high over the very top of the door. Once you feel as though you have it up high enough, press it towards the door and slide it down. Just a couple light taps on that. Continuing on, we're going to be paying attention along this area, where the door panel meets the door. You remember those locking tabs? They need to be aligned. We'll press this in. Prior to fully driving this in, just confirm that you have access to both of your wiring harnesses, one up along the top, that's for the speaker, and then one down towards the bottom area here. This would be for the window switches. Assuming you can gain access, let's go ahead and tap this into position and we'll continue on with our mounting hardware. Now we're just feeling along the edges here. We have everything aligned, so we'll start gently tapping it into position all the way around. And one in the center. A light tug confirming that's secured. Let's just feel all the way around, confirming this is secured. Now let's line up that window switch. Press it in. Listen for an audible click, a light tug. Now as we start bringing this into position, of course we do want to make sure we have it in the right orientation. We're going to start with the forward side. You can see that we have this hooked area. That hooked area will fit underneath this. That hooked area will fit right underneath this area on the door panel. Make sure our wiring is tucked in. Double check to make sure that's secured, especially along this locking point here. This looks good. We have our armrest. Line it up, press it in. We have our two long Phillips head screws. Now we have our trim panel for that grab handle. Let's go ahead and line this up, press it in as well. Now we have our small Phillips head screw that's going to go directly in this port here. Let's protect that area. Now it's time for our corner piece. We're going to start with the electrical connector. Line it up, press it in. Audible click, a light tug. Now as we bring this into position, we have one tab that's going to hold this in position right up along here. Now as we go to secure this, we have one tab that'll secure this in position along here. Okay friend, we finished the installation of our front outside mirror. The next thing you need to do is set it to your preferences. You can do that using your mirror switch. After that, take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.